Little bumpy.
Königssee in Bavaria, the spiritual home of German ice sliding. And just outside the small town of Berchtesgaden lies the oldest artificial ice track on the planet. Good evening, welcome everybody to the second and deciding heat. Round 4 of the Viessmann FIBT Women's Bobsleigh World Cup from Königssee, Bavaria. Martin Haven alongside me, John Morgan, getting ready to bring you the action after John. A stunning first heat where we saw the track record broken not once, not twice, but 3 different times.
Jamie Grubel posed there on the first heat with Lauren Williams, the track and field star. Look what happens here. Unbelievable crash. They were in position to be in second place. They crashed a couple times earlier the week in practice. Out of the competition, did not finish. Both athletes so far were here, they're okay. Anja Schneider-Heinz and the rookie on the break, Angela Drasik. She's a track and field star, 19 years old, a lot of promise for her. And Schneider-Heinz comes down in 4th place finish, real close between 4th, 3rd, and 2nd. And here comes the speed merchant, Elfie Williamson, the leader of the Belgian Bullets, won their first ever World Cup medal last weekend with a silver. Gives up so much time at the start, but she puts herself in medal position again. Kathleen Martini, she's been flying and training all week, but like last week in Altenburg, she was second end of the first run. And Martin, we saw this sled lose time on the bottom part of the track, but there's one sled that didn't lose any time. This one here, Alana Myers-Taylor, Cheryl Garrett, they smashed the track record at the start. Ridiculous what they did. Then on the bottom part of the track, now Myers, she crashed twice in training this week, but on the bottom part of the track, she was flying, broke the track record on the bottom, new track record at the bottom, and she's got an unbelievable lead.
Yeah, she leads by 65 hundredths of a second. 3 hundredths behind Kathleen Martini is the tie for 3rd place. Elfa Willemsen and Anja Schneider-Heinz of Germany. And tough battles all the way down the order as well. Top 6 could all take medals here. And still, this track reminded us in the first heat with Jamie Grubel-Poser and Lauren Williams that it can take no prisoners as well. If you get it wrong, it can go very wrong indeed.
There's our track record holder at the start.
There's Stephanie Schurig of Germany getting ready for her rundown. She'll go off halfway through the field. She was only 7th off the first heat, 9/10 away. Not where she expects to be. She trained fast. There's Elfa Willemsen. Nadia Sergeyeva of Russia.
Good crowd, as usual.
And knowledgeable crowd. Lots of green flags for Kathleen Martini. While the field goes in reverse order of the first heat performance, 13 down to 1. Anne van Nieuwenhuizen of Belgium first off. And the last to go, defending her lead, will be Alana Myers-Taylor of the USA. 13th and last sled on the ice here in Königssee. 4th run of the Viessmann FIBT World Cup Tour for women's bobsleigh. We are in Königssee, Bavaria, second and deciding heat of the race here. First sled off at the top of the track is the sled that was slowest in the first run. Anne van Nieuwenhuizen of Belgium with Sophie Verkrijsen behind her. Martin Haven and John Morgan watching the action as this physiotherapy student from Belgium, just 23 years old, the development driver. Behind her, basketball-playing brakewoman who is 22.
Belgians have had a rough 2 weeks. Crashed twice in Altenburg, training. Crashed twice here in training. But pretty headstrong. Nothing's phased them. And the first run, of course, she made a big mistake in the first run, and she did it again, right there in the same spot. She just can't come out of the drive lines and hit like that. But she's a development driver chasing the dream that Elfie Williamson has created for Belgium. That medal last week just blew up the live streaming in Belgium. The amount of people watching. This is just, doesn't have a feel yet.
Well, this is the straight that is known in North America as the bend away rather than the straight away into the Kreisel. 360 degrees, you exit under the entrance big skid there as well. Puts her sideways in the labyrinth.
She's going to make it down. Another successful World Cup for her. And you know, she's a development driver. Pretty headstrong to crash 4 times in 2 weeks. Now she's off to St. Moritz. World Cup next week. Happy she finished.
She does finish, guaranteed top 13 points. It's all about lining up the teams to try and get your maximum number of sleds qualified for the World Championships. And of course, experience for the youngsters. So some German fans down there, some Belgian fans, Austrians, Swiss, all sorts of nations. See the Latvians coming out for tomorrow too.
Look at the rudder tips here. She's got a back end skid going because she came out of the 4th S. It's unbelievable challenge, those 4 S's up there. Look at the little ping pong down there in the bottom. You can't be this. Look at the back end of the sled here. Airborne. Yep, back right rudder. But she gets through there. Not the cleanest, but it was a safe line.
Got it down, and that's what counts. They are the race leaders. Next up, Nadia Sergeeva of Russia with Yulia Shoksheva behind her. Sergeeva, a little bit of an up-and-down season for the 27-year-old former brakewoman. Only started driving at the beginning of last year. Really having to learn fast.
35 in the first run. 36, half-second lead. Watch that hit. Much better than she did in the first run. She's another what we call a development driver. Track and field athletes, both of them sprinters. Like everybody in the Russian program. This is good lines there. As good as you get out of those 4 S's. That's not great. Now watch for the movement in the Kreisel. Up and down or straight?
Only a whisker faster than the Belgians.
Good. Watch out.
Oh,
watch out
the
here. Watch out.
Boy, still 6/10 up, but she'll have lost a lot of speed there.
That last wave of the Kreisel set her up for that bottom part.
Less than 116K, she's losing time. Half a second up, but it'll be about a quarter at the line. 4,700. She keeps it going.
52.03 in the second run. She went 51.85 in the first run.
Yep.
Time's pretty similar. I would have expected her to go faster because of it's colder. They spritz the track. She's got a great ice to work with.
That was a quarter second slower run and more mistakes creeping in. There's Nadia.
Start. Look at the brakeman hit that way before the driver got there. It's 2-person pushing that sled, and you got to hit it exactly. They didn't, and then the exit here. You hit in the left side like that, it furs you on the right, then you're left when you should be right. We've already had this conversation about Jamie Grubel.
Watch the brake woman, see her get
the
bounced in the
airborne twice. A lot of bumps and bruises back there in the back of that sled.
Yep.
But they're the leaders.
Nadia on the right, Yulia on the left of your screen. Two of our 13 sleds safely down here in Königssee, Bavaria. Next up, a pair of British sleds. First, Youth Olympic silver medalist Misha McNeil from 2 years ago. She's joined on the back of the sled by Alicia Kiddle. Young brakeman, lots of young brake women in this UK program, just 22 years old.
And the driver, Mika McNeil, she fell on the sled in the first run. A lot smoother. 5:41 in the first run, 5:39 there. But her speed was 40.6 this time. I think it was 40.1 the last time. She almost fell on that sled.
Well, it would have lost so much momentum, but also what it does to the driver's focus. Suddenly they're having a huge panic just to climb in.
4 S's, 4 curves, and then this long straightaway, and that is not how to do it. Now you got to watch for her safety here, Kreisel. Watch the sled going up and down. No, she corrected pretty well. This should be a decent exit. Yep. She's 700s down, and she just not a great speed line. She's going to have to be perfect. 1:15.8's not the perfect speed. Now she goes uphill, but she's
very close. Just easing back in front of the Russians. There was only a fraction between them in the first heat.
And she does it.
Wow, she was 800ths in front of the Russians in heat 1, 900ths in total. So that was 100th of a second quicker than the Russian sled came down.
Corrected herself at Kreisel. Boy, it was a horrendous straightaway.
Yeah. touching both sidewalls is not great news, but they're down.
This is sliding across the ice. This isn't about energy going forward. This is like putting the brakes on.
Well, you know what happens when you do that sideways movement on ice with an ice skate? You stop. Same here.
Watch these beautiful pictures. Look at a snake through here, back into the sled, the airborne. It's a little difficult for these things to creep through there. If you think the two-mans are tough, what do you see the four-mans on Sunday?
Oh, yeah. Misha McNeil leads for Great Britain. Next up is her teammate Vicky Ole, the 31-year-old from London, 23-year-old Anya Kay. Are you watching in Bournemouth? The fine art student has her first ever World Cup race here today. So hopefully any nerves from the first heat will be gone. 10th place after heat 1, but a 10th of a second improvement would push them up the order a little.
See, the brakeman wants to hit off that at the start. The driver wants to hit that push bar at the exact same time. That wasn't bad, but the 5:44 is exactly what they did in the first run. And book out the violent entry into curve 1.
Well, they were only 500s in front of their teammate, Misha McNeil, from the first heat, and that has gone already after the start.
Watch to see if she can be clean here.
Oh!
That's better than her teammate. But her teammate was pretty good at the Chrysler, which is the slingshot effect of the bottom part of the track.
2 kilometers an hour quicker than the other British sled. She's in the green, should accelerate away now.
Yeah, there's some good
line.
Got more experience than her teammate. Now going uphill for the last 150 meters. That's the second time. She did that in the first run.
Yes, she did.
Wow.
51, 76, 400 slower than the first heat.
Look at the coaches, look at each other. You know, they tell you, don't steer unless you have to.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to steer. 2 consecutive heats.
She proved you don't have to. Anya Kay hanging it on the brakes there because they ran a long way through the station. But you saw Pete Gunn and Lee Johnson there shaking their heads.
Watching the curve 1. Look how violent this is.
Should be on the left.
Airborne. Look at the
there.
sled is airborne. You should be a little bit more in the middle there. That was too abrupt. Now here, this is a blueprint. Exactly what she did in the first run.
I think she's higher and even later than the first run. Yeah. Wow.
You know, high, sometimes rough is fast.
You don't roll it to victory from there. No. That's the final corner in Winterberg. Well, there's Anya Kay. Rough couple of trips, but they are down and in the lead. Maria van Hugenbosch of the Netherlands with Melissa Bekelman behind her. This is the new Dutch bobsled crew development program. 2 22-year-olds. Van Hugenbosch, the Youth Olympic gold medalist 2 years ago in Eagles, Austria. And her teammate, the brakewoman, junior world champion in shot put, coached by Michael Cerise and the recently retired Edwin van Kalken.
Pretty impressive in the first run for her debut here in the World Cup. 5:35, 5:37. But I was impressed with her lines. Not as violent as the British sled in the curve 1. 4 S's. Here's the first one right. Then another left. Okay, we're not done yet. Another left. Another right. And watch this runners. Came out too early, and she's paying the price.
I think the track is even faster than the first run, and they're finding that as they make their steers, and it turns too late. 1:19.5, fastest speed we've seen in the Kreisel.
Good, excellent. She can drive.
Yes, she can. They have got something on their hands here. 1:17.9, good speed at the bottom as well.
Came into the headshot shooting today with a lot of confidence.
And well-deserved, 51.6 slide. Again, that's a little slower than her first heat, so maybe the track is not still getting faster. Maybe it needs a little bit of late afternoon lubrication on it. But again, good lines, John. She's really driving up a storm.
Top 8 finish in her first event.
Can't argue with that.
No, Dutch, I think, have something here. Of course, she won the Junior Olympics in Innsbruck there, the first ever Junior Winter Games in 2012. So you don't do that with, you know, just flipping coins. A little late, a little early coming off the 4th S there, and that causes this whole sideways, you know, and you'll see the good teams come straight down. And Echo on here, this is where you exit and start to come in uphill. She snuck out there too early, and then she has to pay the price by hitting the wall over the right. And when you're going slow, going uphill like that, you can't do that.
Well, that can cost you between 1 and 2 tenths, that little tap there. Well, there are the Dutch girls. They're in the lead. Netherlands lead with 8 to go. The Blue Danube plays for Christina Hengster of Austria with Sanne Decker behind her, a refugee from what was the defunct Dutch team on the back of the Austrian sled.
Sled built by Reich, Swiss silver medalist from the 2002 Winter Games. Ooh, well, that take on, that's going to be interesting to see the way the men also, or the better sleds, negotiate that curve. That's pretty abrupt. These Alps bring a lot of speed. Hengster, experience, look at that. Now that, I told you find somebody come down there a little bit better than the previous 2 sleds. This is it.
Tied with the Dutch after the first heat. She's 200s in front with better speed.
She had a better straightaway. Watch you through here, snake through here, that's experience. Now remember, the Dutch made the mistake on the exit of Echo Vond.
Still quicker than the Dutch, easing away now from 200s to 2100s.
As expected, you would expect Christina Hengster to beat those young Dutch athletes, and she does. 51.32.
Decent run from Christina Hengster. That's
100 faster.
Yeah.
So that tells you she did really bad in the first run.
Well, it tells you also the track's not giving up an awful lot of friendship here. Not feeling the extra speed at all. Hengster has the lead, though, by a half second. And she was just a 10th out of 7th place.
Start, get in, get down. Boy, the brakeman got in there quick. Look at her drift to the right. Boy, we've seen a few sleds have that out of that groove. Then watch the entry into curve 1. Now, I would think you want to be more in the middle there, but they're all trying to get over on the left side, and that's a violent, look at that air, the runner popped up in the air.
Yep.
That's not fast.
Yeah, she grimaces when she sees
it. Watching the replays.
I think they need to be hard left, but you have to steer too much to get there.
Well, let's see what as the rest of the field comes through there.
Well, let's see what Stephanie Schurig of Germany does. First on the ice this morning, the 28-year-old started racing in 2003, former brakewoman. And she's been driving a long time, won a lot of races in the second-tier Europa Cup division with 25-year-old long jumper Elena Nolte behind her.
Look at the thighs on the driver. Track and field sprinter. Germans pinned a lot of hopes on her too. Get the Germans with the big start times that the Americans have. 5:27. 400's better than her first run. Pretty good into curve 1. Training, she was inconsistent. She'd have a great run, and then a bad run. There's no lets in bobsleigh, like tennis. That's pretty good.
Good run down this bend away. Oh, takes that second hit a little harder than she wanted.
You got to hit through there. Just the question is how many times.
1:19.5, not as quick as Christina Hengster of Austria.
Patient, ooh, she goes skid there. She's lost a lot of time back. It's what we've seen of these German sleds. She lost. This is going to be close.
Where's the speed? 1:16. You're kidding me.
She could drop back behind the Dutch sled if she doesn't watch it.
She is behind the Dutch sled. She loses a place.
One spot.
Just one, though.
Yeah,
700. She managed to hang on in front of the Dutch World Cup rookies.
Just like last week, the German sleds have all the great time at the top of the track, and the bottom of the track, they're losing it. And Martini's still yet to come. Schneiderhout's yet to come.
Wow.
It's perplexing.
And that was a pretty good-looking drive, and yet the speed just ebbed out of the sleds. They said it last week, technic.
Look at the runners. She wants to be down the right middle side. She got to look at the back end skidding there. So that's, you know, when you're trying to accelerate away. Let's see if the sled goes airborne here on this
Skidding
left
here
side.
Again.
Left side, does sled go airborne?
Maybe.
Yeah, that's a big hard hit. Look at that, popped way up. There's a lot of time there.
Maybe it's not the technic, the kit. Maybe that was just too many errors. Yeah, sounds like it. Kaylee Humphreys, the Olympic champion. Kaylee Humphreys, the double Olympic champion, with World Cup rookie Julia Carenti behind her. First start for Julia on the back of the sled. Carenti's World Cup debut. And Humphreys, 6th place after the first heat.
But she's close.
Yeah, within 500ths of a medal.
.531 in the first run. Should at least get that. Ooh, with the break, we got a problem there. 534. Look at the speed, 40.7, should be 40.9. The brakeman had a problem getting in there to start.
Humphreys also training this week in 4-man. She'll race on Sunday, so she didn't get as many trips in the 2-man.
These are pretty good. You have to hit like that. Speed, 120.6, 120.8. Let's see if she can hold that speed on the bottom, pull away, put herself in a chance to win a medal, which she's done in every event so far.
120, 120.9. That's great speed from Kaylee Humphreys.
Perfect there. She's starting to pull away now. This is what you expect.
Than the first heat. 51.25. That's a quarter second nearly worse than her first run. 0.2 slower. So that was not as good a drive down as in the first run.
Well,
better below the Kreisel, but worse above it.
I still think that's decent. Speed was good at Kreisel. Kaylee, she's got another day. Everybody else packs up, goes to St. Moritz. Kaylee's got to stay around and drive on Sunday. The 4-man. Starting to watch the brakeman here. Oh, she collapses. Her arm collapses going in. She's buried.
She slipped. She slipped, hasn't she? Her legs are falling out behind her. Yeah, she had to pull herself in, and that pulls the sled back.
And I wonder if she hit Kaylee in the back with her helmet.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Kaylee's face hit the cowl.
She hit the cowl and she got pushed forward. She's the only one wearing goggles. Here's her standings.
Kaylee Humphreys laughs off the start mishap. She leads from Christina Hengster and Stephanie Schurek here in Königssee with 5 sleds still to come. Well, Kaylee had a smile on her face. You know, you can either let these things get you, John, or you don't. And she's definitely of the mindset that you don't let this stuff get you. It happens. It's not the end of the world. It's not the Olympic Games. It's not the World Championship. It'd be better if it didn't happen. But, you know.
There's to see the guy in the black there with his hat.
Yep.
That's Wolfgang Zimmer, 1972 Olympic Games gold medalist for Germany in Sapporo on 4-man bobsled. Saw him earlier today. Wolfie looks good. We'll see a lot of great German veterans around here all weekend. It's like a Hall of Fame moment for me.
Well, it is. And, you know, this is the race they all come to. They all come down to Berchtesgaden. This is ground zero for German ice sliding. This is their hometown. You know, the FIL, the Luge Federation's based here. This is a big home for the bobsleigh and skeleton teams as well. Just where we're staying in our hotel, Bischofswiesen below us, that's the big army camp where all the sports soldiers in German sliding pretty much are based. So little distance from Saxony, where Kathleen Martini's from, where all the green flags are from, but this is the heartland of German ice sliding.
Stefan Geisreiter was one of the guys on that 4-man team that won the Olympic gold medal. He went on to win the World Championships here in Königssee in 2-man bobsled for West Germany in 1979. Beat the legendary Meinhard Niemer by 1/100th of a second. I was standing right in the finish when they came in, and remember the crowd just jumping all over them because the East Germans had a little bit more advantage than the West Germans then.
Well, just chatting to some of the Europa Cup skeleton sliders who popped over from the US team. They're in Eagles racing this week, or next week rather. They just left St. Moritz, came down, and we're chatting about how not straight the straightaway is. Real challenge on this track. Königssee, Bavaria, final 5 sleds. Race 4 of the FIBT Viessmann Women's Bobsled World Cup. Martin Haven, John Morgan, trackside watching. Jasmine Fenlater, the Joyzy Goyle, second out of the start shed this morning, the 29-year-old. She was a former dancer. She once tried out for the Lion King on Broadway. I guess the Lion King's loss, musical theatre's loss, is bobsledding's gain.
4th best start, the first run at 29. Lauren Gibbs, great track and field athlete in the back, very consistent, 5:30. Watch the entrance, not bad. Viessmann crashed earlier in the week in practice. I think her second trip down the track. Good lines in the first run.
One of 3 women who broke the track record. First 3 sleds all inside the old track record.
These are good lines. 120.7, 121.2. She's got it flying now. Let's see if she can slingshot it here at the bottom. Back end of the sled looks good.
119.7 in the first heat at the next speed track. 119.6, she's right on target for the same kind of a run.
All right, she's accelerating away now. This could be the leader. Good run.
50.99 first slide, 51.07, just 800 slower. The track is not as fast then, I'm saying, as the first heat, but that was a very nice run.
Good lines all the way down the track. Top start. Again, Viessmann crashed a couple times in the last 2 weeks. Look at these people that they appreciate their bobsledding.
600ths of a second separate her from second in the first heat. That could be a medal shot right there.
Look at the runner tips here. Exit cries. She's perfect. Look at the way she comes over into the exactly where you should be. She's almost leaning with her body. Now watch the back end of the sled, the transition from left to right here. Any skidding? A little bit of a hit. Runner comes up. Not perfect, but not bad.
Well, there's Viessmann on the right, Lauren Gibbs on the left-hand side. They could be there for another couple of sleds into the medals. Well, first challenge will come from joint third place after the first heat, Germany's Anja Schneider-Heinze with a brand new brakewoman, Annika Drazik. German debuting 2 new brakewomen in this race.
Brakeman's a 19-year-old sprinter. High hopes for her. In fact, Christoph Langen told me she might be going to driver's school in March. That's the type of athleticism that the Americans have forced on everybody to bring their top athletes to the front seat.
Well, Schneider did as well. Won the Olympic gold with Sandra Kyriasis as a brakewoman, turned to driving. That ups the ante.
.516 start in the first run, second best start. 5:16 again. Watch the entry here. Watch the entry. Not bad.
Well, this is vital. She's got to keep that speed alive that Stephanie Schurek could not.
Schneider told us earlier in the week she doesn't really do well on this track.
And don't forget, she came after the crash of Jamie Grubel-Poser when the track was a bit gouged up. She could go quicker.
Speed not as good. Viessmann ventilator almost a half a mile an hour down.
Exactly what she had in the first heat,
though.
She had 119.2 in the first heat. If this is 120s, it's not 118.6. That's slower than her first heat.
17, it's coming back. It's going to be close, but I think she's got enough.
She might just edge it at the line. Ducks ahead by a 10th, 51 flat slide.
Wow, she beat Viessmann ventilator there on the first 50 meters. Viessmann drove better. Her equipment's better.
Schneider might be in the medals now then.
I think that's good enough.
Yeah,
I really do.
Viessmann might still as well. It's so close. Blink of an eye in the wrong place and you're going to lose the medals.
Exit 4 S's into this long straightaway. This is probably her biggest mistake, but Christoph Langen likes it.
He was disappointed. Look at him. Didn't like that at all. But Anja Schneider-Heinze has the lead with 2 to go. 3 sleds still to come here in Belgium. In Bavaria, I can't count. The Belgians first. Elfie Willemsen tied for 3rd with Anja Schneider-Heinze after the first heat. Some really great driving coming out of Elfie Willemsen this year. The medal last weekend in Altenburg was due. Not only has she got a quick sled with the BTC Latvia kit, but she is driving up a storm. Annelies Holthoff behind her on the back of the sled.
The worst start in the first run, and she negotiated to a top 3 finish.
Willemsen comes from javelin, Holthoff from rope skipping.
Well, I always talk about the people who find ways to manufacture speed down the bobsled track. She's right up there with the best. Watch the entrance here. bad, but boy, she has good. She needs perfect lines with the start. She's 36 hundredths behind the Germans. And it's like, it's a short track. So it's like, it's impossible for her to catch the Germans.
Don't forget, she had a near 15-minute hold in the first heat, just right after Jamie Grubel-Poser's crash.
Needs 121.6, and she's got that speed.
121.6, great speed.
Watch the exit here. Watch the back end of the sled here. Perfect, 23. She gets it down the next clock to teens, she might have a chance. She's gonna run out of track though.
She's very close. She could be within 900. She could overhaul Schneider-Heinze for the lead. She does.
Unbelievable.
50.96 slides. She said this sled fits her like a glove. It's the best thing she's ever driven. And look at that.
I always talk about having the start time to win. She's the person that goes against all odds, all reasoning. How she can take a short track with that start efficiency and win in the bottom. It's called, look at the lines. Look at the transitions. You don't see a mistake. You know, you can have a great piece of equipment, but you got to drive it. And this is as good as it gets down there as we've seen all night. Is there any back end?
Just nudged away by the ice. Didn't even hit the sidewall. Great run from Alpha Willemsen in the medals for the second week in a row. And there's another potential scout coming here because Kathleen Martini of Germany was only 3/100ths of a second faster in the first heat. Her brand new brakewoman, Lisa Marie Bugwitz, could be the lucky charm. Could she help Martini into the medals here for the first time this season?
Start, 5:31. Fifth best start in the first run. Should be that at least. 5:31, watch the entry. Smooth. Now this is a speed merchant, but last week we saw her fall from second place to fourth at Altenburg, and it was perplexing because she had a good run.
2011 world champion, 4 times a European champion, 1700's the margin.
Now this is as perfect as it gets. 100, she's got the speed, 121.3, 3/10 of a kilometer.
1700's up, but the gap will shrink.
Got a 13.
Belgians 124 in the exit. She's 121.4. Great speed from Kathleen Martini. Now the gap will grow. This is her first medal of the season, unless she crashes here. No. How is she losing that time? Oh my goodness.
Jawohl, says Christoph Lange.
Only 200ths faster than the Belgians on that slide.
She's thrilled. It's her last race on this track. She's retiring this year.
Her first medal of the season, and after the heartbreak of Altenburg, her home track last week, she stays in the medals.
Okay, you want to know how to do it? Look at the same thing as Williamson. These are the best lines we've seen all night. Look at her snake her way down here to the right, left. Let's see if the back end comes out as clean as Williamson did. Pretty quiet, pretty quiet. Good energy.
Over 2 trips, just 500ths faster than Alpha Willemsen, but that's all that she needed. Now I'm afraid it is almost beyond discussion who's going to win this race, because Alana Myers-Taylor has a 6500ths of a second advantage. Alana, start record, track record in the first heat with 25-year-old Sherelle Garrett, these 2 California girls.
Yeah, but
undefeated this season.
The first 2 times down in practice this week, they crashed.
Yep.
So this is no victory lap. The track, it's her against the track. She gets to the bottom, she wins.
They can jog off here.
But they had a 5:13 start in the first run, broke the track record. I gotta believe 14 or 15. You know, Myers looked like she was hurt. Ooh, that's not good. 5:17.
Yep.
Alana looked like she was hurt after the first run, and I think that's related to those 2 crashes.
Yeah, and the 2 in Altenburg the week before. 8500ths up. Now she just needs to be conservative from here, but I'm not sure she's got a conservative gene in her body.
Well, it's not about conservative. The track doesn't allow you to be aggressive or conservative. Here's the problem area, the exit here coming up.
121.8.
A lot of waving.
Top speed of anybody here.
Back end's gonna hit.
Oh!
It's come back up.
Wow, and she might still win it. She was 9/10 of a second up. 1800s. She hasn't got the speed. This could be gold for Kathleen Martini. It is gold for Kathleen Martini.
And the other German sneaks in there too, Schneider-Heinz.
Schneider-Heinz third, and Elfie Willemsen of Belgium takes the silver medal as Alana Myers-Taylor crashes down to 6th place.
Let's see if both athletes look like they're both okay.
Yeah.
Tough night.
Wow, what drama. It's a very demanding track for the drivers. Alana crashed in training. She's crashed again here. Dives down off the Kreisel into the doodles. Fast switchback, left, right, left. She gets left, she hits right. And like Jamie Grubel-Posey in the first heat, it throws her into corner 14 on the cow. And it's a rough ride from there on down. Well, she's feeling pretty bruised after Altenburg, pretty bruised now after Königssee. Hopefully nothing cracked. Sherelle Garrett goes into the changing room with her. And Alana is feeling that build up of injury. So the green flags of Saxony flying for this woman, Kathleen Martini. By 400, she wins over Elfie Willemsen. Anja Schneider-Heinz 800s behind. What a tight podium. Martini did everything she could, and in the end, Alana Myers-Taylor just pushing the envelope a fraction too much. Perhaps it got away from her down in the lower labyrinth. But for Kathleen Martini, there is Christoph Langen celebrating with Sven Ruhr. There is Kathleen Martini celebrating with her brand new brakewoman, Lisa Maria Vuckwitz. One race, one win. And after crashing out of the medals or slumping out of the medals last weekend at home, Kathleen Martini wins a tight race. Jasmine Fenlater, Kaylee Humphreys and Alana Myers-Taylor complete the top 6. But Alana Myers-Taylor no longer undefeated. 3 straight wins, and now Kathleen Martini becomes our second winner of the season as she claims an unlikely gold here in Königssee.
Und unverhofft kommt auf dem 3. Platz. Macht Alarm für Anja Schneider-Heinz und Annika Brauer.
Wow, just pausing to catch my breath and collect my thoughts there. You saw John Morgan down below the box here in the finish area. Athletes high-fiving each other. Alana Myers-Taylor might want to take a moment or two to come out of the changing room. She looked like she was feeling pretty sore after Heat 1, even more so after Heat 2. Well, high drama. And look, the Belgians, 3rd last week, 2nd this week. We go to San Moritz next week. If there was a track that was made for the BTC sled, that is it. 1.5 miles of smooth and most importantly fast ice. Well, the green flags of Saxony, there are lots of them there for Kathleen Martini. She was in tears last week after slumping out of the medal. She's in tears again, but for a much better reason. She takes gold. Schneidi there in the blue hat takes the bronze medal. And 2 new brakemen, Annika Drazen with Anja Schneider-Heinz and Lisa Maria Vuckwitz with Kathleen Martini, both taste medals in their first World Cup starts for Germany. And between them, Elfie Willemsen and Annelies Holthoff for Belgium. Don't forget the second Belgian sled finished 9th spot as well. No, the second Belgian sled finished in 13th place for Anne van Joenhuis. So, high drama here on the final run. The American leader crashes out. Busy, busy finish area here in Königssee, Bavaria after a dramatic ending to the 4th Women's Bobsleigh World Cup race this season. 2 German teams on the podium. Alana Myers-Taylor has been defeated this season now. She still leads the World Cup points, but look at that, Elfie Willemsen, second in the standings ahead of Anja Schneider-Heinze and Olympic champion Kaylee Humphreys. All sorts of changes going on up and down the order. Well, to present the flowers, let's get back down onto the finishing dock. Ivo Ferriani, the president of the FIBT, presents to Anja Schneider-Heinze the bronze medal finisher with Annika Dracek. They were tied for third in the first heat. In the silver medal position, tied for third with Schneidi after heat one, Elfie Willemsen and Annelies Holthoff. And the gold medal position, Kathleen Martini and Lisa Maria Buchwitz. They were second after the first heat, battling, they thought, to stay in the medals. And in the end, it was the gold that will be draped around their necks. Well, it was a good drive from Kathleen Martini. You don't win 4 European Championship gold medals and a World Championship. You don't become the Crystal Globe winner in women's bobsleigh without knowing a good line or two. And this was out of the top draw. Didn't have the speed at the start, didn't have the speed down the track in heat one of Alana Myers-Taylor, but also she didn't crash on the run to the line, and Alana did. Jawohl from Christoph Lang, and jubilation, vindication, exhilaration from Kathleen Martini. Well, breathless stuff here. Let's hear from our top three, some very happy athletes. John Morgan's with them now.
Anja, now what a bronze medal. You drove well, though. You don't like this track, but you did well.
Yeah, perfect day today. Was my best result here on this track, and I have had a big new start trick. Rakete, I don't know. It's so crazy, I'm so happy. Perfect.
Well, happy for you, but good way to you to start your career. Congratulations. Now over to the Belgian Bullets, 2 weeks in a row, silver medals. This time you really earned it. That was a great drive in your second run.
Yeah, it was a better run the first run, but still it's a short track, so I didn't expect it on this track, but it's really cool to do it on this track as well.
It's pretty impressive to watch. Your second World Cup points. Congratulations. Now, Team Martini, your gold medal in your last season. You drove well all week long.
Yeah, it was a good week for me. Oh, I'm very happy about the 2 runs, and we did start very well, so whew, I'm speechless. So it's a great birthday present to my mom. She had a birthday today. Oh, so I'm very happy. Yeah, it's very good to win here in Königssee. It's now it's the circle around to World Championships. So
congratulations for your gold medal.
Alles Gute zum Geburtstag, Frau Martini. Happy birthday to Kathleen's mum. Congratulations to Kathleen for victory here in Königssee, Bavaria. Well, that's it, the action from the 4th race of the FIBT Viessmann Women's Bobsleigh World Cup. On behalf of John Morgan, the FIBT TV crew, I'm Martin Haven saying thanks for joining us here in Königssee. Don't forget, lots more action to come. We'll see you next time out. Until then, bye for now.
Siegerehrung für die besten 6.